Hello and welcome to Gunnar Weisskamp's Web Development. Today lesson 15, MVC Part 2 Entity Framework. Today we add onto the last example but allow our current web app to use SQL Server stored procedures via using the entity framework. So obviously in the last demo you might want to look at that because we're going to build upon that same example, but in the last demo we just showed a simple CRUD application, a create, read, update and delete application which reads information and puts information back on a table. But if you've had any experience dealing with databases, you need something. If you're going to create a database app, you need some sort of process which allows you to use stored procedures within your code. You need that process to happen. So today we're showing you how you can do that with the entity framework as well. I'm using Visual Studio 2013. These are the settings for it. As you can see, just go File, New, and then in B, make sure these items are selected. We have created an empty MVC app as shown here in C. But as mentioned, it would be probably useful if you watch the preceding tutorial because today's tutorial will build upon that. Okay, so first thing to do is create the store procedure. So let's grab this code. Really simple stuff as well. Let's explain the code once we're in here. Let's go into our database area. So this is, as you can see here, we are building on last application we created. So it's got a controller here, a student's info controller, which has all our CRUD, our index details, create, all our CRUD processes that we need, which we demonstrated in the last tutorial. Here in our models folder, we've got our current entity area, or our entity object in here. As you can see, our SQL database. And that brings us to, we have our SQL database in here as well, which we created in the last app. And lastly, we've got our views here in our student info table, which correspond over here to our controller actions, all created in the last tutorial. So this was the above there in green is the code that we used to create our tables and insert our information. You can use that again if you want. I'm leaving that there for you. So we're just pasting in here our create store procedure process. So we've got our create keyword there, procedure. This is the name of our store procedure. SP select student by name, and it's got one parameter, full name, so it gets past the full name. And all we're doing here is we're doing a select of the student, his full name and age, which is pretty silly. He's got full name anyway. But just for demonstrative purposes, we're just going to select those back based on the full name entered. So again, this is just for demonstration. So if we execute that, it did everything nicely. Let's refresh that. And we should see our stored procedure in there. Before we add this process into our entity framework over here, it's always good to refresh the database schema here. There's our stored procedure, as we can see, that we just created. That's the one over there. As mentioned, I might just refresh the whole thing. Right, so everything in our database should be completely refreshed. Let's bring up our entity framework object here, and we've got our table in there. Now, how do we get this stored procedure into our entity model? Pretty simple, really. Just right-click here in our diagram here, and then we go update model from database. So this will now let us get any objects which are new in our database that have come. In our case, there's no new tables, but we can go down here and we should see there's our stored procedure. So we just tick everything like that and leave all these ticked. Simple process, finish, and it's doing its looking for the connections. And so now over in here to our right, we should see a stored procedure area come up where our stored procedure is put here in our entity framework model. So all good. Is it still doing something? Don't know. Still doing something. It's finished, I think, now. So is it this one? Should be in here. Let's close that down so we have a bit more of a view. Oh, that's a bit. Let me just refresh everything. And possibly, I haven't saved this now. Oops, no, cancel that. Save that. You can see here with this little asterisk here, a change has been detected here in our entity model, but it's not being reflected here. At least at this stage I can't see it here in our schema output here. So we might have to, well, saving this right now. Then we'll build it. Then hopefully everything will come into play and I can show you where the stored procedure has come in. See, something's changed here. That's this guy, so yes to all. So now, if we're looking at, here's our stored procedure, process information, or our stored procedure object. So going back to this DB context, this area here, your .context file is an important component of this entity framework because it'll have all your tables that you've pulled down. It'll have all the stored procedures that you've pulled down as well. So, you know, if you're looking to understand what a stored procedure might get that you're working within, you can go in here and you can find it. You can say, oh yeah, it's a string going in there, it's a full name, okay. And you can sort of see what you might be getting back as well. If we now, this also creates its own model. So here was our student info model. So that's our table there for the student info. But here now is a model for the actual parameters of the stored procedure, and remember we're just pulling back the full name and the age. So those are two new important components within this. Okay, so now we've got our stored procedure and all its components here in our entity model, which is cool. We're going to close all this down just to make things a little bit easier. Now we're going to grab some code because we're going to use this stored procedure in our controller, and these are the guys here we're going to use. So let's go back here. Let's go up here in the top area. So paste that in. So yeah, we'll just call this functionality. It doesn't matter really what you call it, but I've called it get student by full name. That's what it does. So this is our get action, and this is the post action. It's going to be called also get student by full name, and as mentioned, we're passing the stored procedure a full name. That's why the parameters here. And then just this is the DB context connected onto this object here. See this guy here, which is, I should have maybe explained this in my first tutorial, and that was a bit naughty of me, so I will now, because this guy here is the DB context, and this has a lot of power to it. You can do many things. This here is what's happening here is you've got the DB, you've got the table. It's saying, okay, use this table, and what this does, get all the students out of this table via the toList and return that to the view. And that's all via the magic of the DB context object. And same here, as you can see, this object here is used a number of times in the code as well. And all this one here is doing is saying, in this table, find, we're using a find link process, find the user with that ID that we're passing back here. I should have really explained it in my first one. And then obviously put it in the student info object and return it. So this DB context is an extremely powerful guy within the process here, and we're going to use him here for our processes as well. So we're just going to show the view for the page, and then we're going to enter in this page, the connected view, a full name. And what we're going to do here is pass the full name into this stored procedure, as we talked about, and then we're going to get the first or default record back from that. Record that to the result object here, and then pass that to this view, which we're going to create in a minute here. So this will be our student's object here, more or less, being passed back to this view, which we're going to create right now, more or less. So, sorry, first we'll create a view for this one. Did I need to? So, what are we doing? Details, we're searching. I think we're going to do an edits. And this is pretty important because we're actually not using the student info. We are actually using the students by name result. No, we're not, sorry. I do tell a lie. This is, technically it's going to be a blank screen with a text box. Sorry, let's move this here. This view is going to be a blank screen with just a text box. We're going to enter a full name in there, which is the full name for the text box. That's all that really has to be. To make this process easier, I'm going to do a little bit of a cheat. We're going to use the student info database model. Let's just do that, because this should create our text box for us. Get rid of that. But still, what have I done here? So we've got our student info there. Yeah, so I've gone down that road here with that code, more or less, I believe. That's my example code. Let's see what's happening over here. Yes, so that's what I wanted. We've got our student info object here, but we don't need this code here because technically all we're using this is for a search facility. We want to enter a student full name and search for him, and then show the his corresponding or her corresponding information on the next screen. So we do not need the age. We do need a submit button, but we'll call it get students in info. So you might notice here we've got this student object only here of the data model. So yeah, once this will just bring that back, and then this will, once you press submit, the full name will go in there, and we then get that information by the stored procedure here, and then we return back to a view, which we're going to create now. Yeah, and we're going to showcase the student in that view. So, how do you create a view which is by itself? Add, so we go in here, add view. Just one moment, sorry. What have I done over here in my previous code, which I know works? Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, cool. So let's just add a view in here. Add a view. So we call it student by full name. So make sure it equals this value here. And this will be a model. It'll just be the details of the person. And the model will be the student info, because remember we're just passing back a student info object here, which is this same class here. So it will be that one, and that'll be our data context class as well. So create, no, we don't want any of those ticked, so just make sure it's done as shown here and click add. It's trying to save our SQL file, which we don't need to. And we don't have to save our SQL file, but thanks for asking. And so here we can see our student by full name page, which will display the relevant full name and age of the person. Let's save everything. Everything saved. Now we can just build it. Quite straightforward. Let me copy this URL here and build everything. Bring up our web page here. It's already coming up. Yeah, okay. So it's already coming up here. Now, as we can see, if we get all the students, as shown before in our code, these are all our students. So this gives us some context here. Now, if we want to search, say, for Lisa, let's do a search for Lisa, right? And she's 16. So here's our new search facility. This gets student by full name, the stored procedure, which is here, as you can see. It's going to call the stored procedure. Better still, why don't we, can I toggle that? Oops, hold on. Oops, click too many buttons. Can I toggle that? So if we debug, so we put a breakpoint in there. Let me get rid of that, and we'll see this function in 2 seconds. So let's just go Better still, why don't we make it smaller? So who do I say we're going to get? It's Lisa. Yeah, let's get Lisa. And we know she is, how old is Lisa? She's 16, right. Get students. You'll see coming to our breakpoint here, hopefully. Just so we can see the magic working and understand that our stored procedure here has actually been hit. No, what happened here? That's not good. This is obviously just a wait out operation. These things happen sometimes. The speed of the network here or my local environment is just a bit slow. So that was just a slowing issue. But we can see here now my stored procedure has been hit. We can see here Lisa's been passed back, the name here. And we now have an object back in there, which is Lisa and the age of 16, which is correct here, 16. And now we will go to this new page here, student by full name. And that's that new page here, student by full name. As we can see, that has been created, and we can see Lisa has been brought back. So, yeah. So all this tutorial was based around was showing the use and how you can use a stored procedure in MVC with the entity framework. And you can repeat this process obviously with other stored procedures as well. Yeah. Oops. Yay. So that's it. Please subscribe to my channel or visit my website if you want as well. That'd be great. Thank you. Bye.